Okay. Got up to a couple things this week. First thing, I decided to play some Absolem. Been hearing
That game
great
is
things
pretty
about it.
good.
Yeah, been hearing great things about it for a while now, and I was feeling like, let's get some couch co-op going. Let's keep the couch uh, hot. Two controllers. Let's play. So, plugged it in, got Reggie on co-op, and we jumped in. And yeah, this has been a one that's been, I've been hearing good things about it, and it makes sense because .mu did a pretty good job with Streets of Rage 4, and this is kind of like, I guess, taking off from some of the lessons they learned there, the future of a scrolling beat 'em up, because beat 'em ups can go in a bunch of different directions. Character action was one of them, certainly. There's games that go more action heavy, like Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, for example. But like the old school scrolling arcade formula is intact here, and it feels really really good in Absolem. One of the ways you can do that is by aggressively having not one but two immediate parry and deflect systems,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not only a parry, but it is a dash that leads into a parry. So you have your movement tied to your deflect, tied to your defense. It's all kind of within that same idea. And they do. It's one of those things where you have one ability that does multiple things, and I always love that in game design, where you can find one button to do multiple to just like integrate and simplify the system with. Um, Bold art style looks really cool.
Looks
The
really cool. I like the light roguelike elements to it.
Yes, that's
It's
the
not
that.
crazy different per run, but it's a nice reason to just vary it up a little bit.
Yep, and if you've got any Hades familiarity, you're seeing stuff that you see right off the bat in Hades. You're seeing uh, uh, an element on your weak attack, an element on your heart attack, or an element on your dash, for example. Um, Upgrades to that stuff. You're seeing the permanent run currency when you come back around after you die, and so on. Um, they I so far we've so the two characters you get introduced to are Galandra and Carl. Galandra is got she's got a sword, does a bunch. She's kind of like medium paced, heft character, um, and does a couple of like rising slashes, and just hits hard, has some charge attacks, etc. Carl's got fists, punching little dwarf, or no dwarf, yeah. Um, and then towards the end of the run, I unlocked a third character, Cider, who is essentially Sheik from Melee in a mask.
A little bit.
And air combos, grappling, and like prosthetic limbs to do cool extended shit. Tools, dropping bombs and snatching enemies into the air, or you snatch or you pull yourself over to them, etc. Very, very just like.
I got far enough to unlock the Frog Man.
Okay, yeah, that's the fourth. I didn't see him
Frog
yet.
Wizard.
Cool beat 'em up. Very just nice sense of, again, small progression when you go around each time. You take branches left or right, and you cross the map, and then as you go on, it's like, hey, you unlocked a bridge over here. Maybe next time you do a run, go south and revisit that bridge and see if you go somewhere different. Things that I liked about Shadows over Mystara, or Shadows of Mystara. I keep forgetting if it's of over or of, but
I
the
want to say it's of.
the D&D beat 'em up, where you just you're leveling up and you're progressing with these characters. You're getting a nice sense of just combo juggling going on, and there's an anti-infinite prevention system. So by doing repetitive moves, you scale your damage down, and at a certain point they kind of explode out of your hands and go flying across the screen. So I'm not sure if like styling is the way to keep your combos going longer, or if it's just like a hard set thing. But there seems to be some sort of system in place between you and, like, if you're playing co-op, juggling juggling your enemies back and forth and kind of extending your combos. I guess if you delay it properly or get the right upgrades, you can like do more damage before they explode and go flying across the room, yeah, just it's also, lessons learned from like whatchamacallit, Dragon's Crown,
Mhm.
and a couple of other of the more modern beat 'em ups, where you want your simple attacks to be like, you want things to be very cancelable. You want your ability to dash out of things as soon as you start them, and you want airplay to be a big part of what makes your combos fun. Like juggling the body longer to build up enough mana to do another special. And just, yeah, having a real sense of fun with like every group that comes in. It's what made me like Sengoku 3 more than any other beat 'em up I've played, like back in the day. It was the fact that you could just dash cancel out of everything, get like the first couple hits of something going, and then just, yeah, essentially 2D character action your way across the screen, fucking bosses up and stuff. Love it so far.
So, like, I have like a minor issue, but it's not with Absolem. It's with like every beat 'em up I've played in the past like 10 years, except for Dragon's Crown. Specifically, only Dragon's Crown. I don't feel this way. And I feel like it's a problem with me because I see like we follow a bunch of people on social media that are like beat 'em up freakazoids, like Dino,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who just do all this crazy shit. But like I loaded up Absalom, and I like did the basic bread and butter into like a launcher and then would bounce them off the wall until they were dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I got near the end of I got like I got far enough to get the frog guy anyway in a run.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just doing like my B&B and then like dodge out of the way into my B&B into dodge like and I feel like as I play them, I'm just like, when am I going to get like 10 more moves? Like I'm always
yeah.
like, wait, why? Like I have my side combo, which is like 5 hits, and I have my air combo, and I have like maybe in Absalom you have your L2 and R2, which are like special moves. And I'm like when am I gonna get like my Dragon's Crown like Amazon like level? Here's your jumping attack, which is the spin. Here is your hold button attack. Here is your up down. Here, you know what I mean?
So in this game, there's two answers, because in one run I unlocked the second special for both characters. So the default I had, for example, with the main girl Galandra, was like a rising burning sword uppercut, right? And then after dying the first time, I had the currency to unlock a second special, which was like a drive sword blade projectile.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I got that pretty much right away. And then while the actual run is underway, like Hades, you're picking up a thing that says, okay, when you get lightning attached to your strike button, every time you hit something, you do your 5-hit combo, you build up a chain lightning that's going to hit multiple things. So the variety comes from the run modifiers that you're picking up between rooms, like Hades, and then combining that with like, oh, you picked up a big upgrade, which is now you have an air grab. So after you launch the enemy up, you can do a fucking borscht dynamite at the end of your combo.
So like,
as an ender.
yeah, no, I got all of that, and I'm just like, I would then finish my run, and then I would start without those, and I'm like, I want more moves. Like I had the same problem with Streets of Rage 4, which like is gorgeous and had incredible music and had really good game feel.
I think,
and I'm like, and I'm watching a combo video of Streets of Rage 4 right now.
Yeah.
Where they're doing a million things, and I'm like, yeah, but I only have like 5 moves.
Depends on the game, I guess. Ultimately, in this one, I feel like what from my first impression, what it's kind of asking you to do is, you just wail on dudes and like be ready to parry them, and then from that, get a launcher going, and then keep your juggles tight, and then make sure you don't drop the combo, and just make sure you can parry everything coming at you, right? In River City Girls, you had a pretty extensive move list.
You got a crazy huge amount of moves in
and there's
River
a
City
fuck
Girls.
ton of stuff you can get going, so there was a lot to those combos. And I feel like
I love getting I loved River City Girls. You got this massive arsenal of things to do.
And I think so Streets of Rage 4, they wanted to not make it not feel like Streets of Rage. I used a double negative when I shouldn't have there. They wanted it to feel like Streets of Rage. They didn't want to do too much, right? And kind of like making Virtual Fighter have focus, attack, drive, impact, flashing rage arts. You know, there's a feeling there of like, no, you got to keep this to what it is. And I think that Absalom was kind of going for that. They were going for something somewhere in between that and Hades, where it's like the comboing is you know, it's fun, it's what's happening there. The run pressure is building up. The variety of the builds you're making are going to change things drastically. You know, you build up a run that maybe is focused on throwing weapons instead, you know, or I saw someone describing that there's stuff that like when you throw items with what's her name, the third character there, Cider, like, you know, she has buffs that make weapon throwing stronger, right? So picking stuff up and making that more of how you play, or a character that's gonna I'm not sure what the boons are going to be necessarily, but taking different approaches, Hades, like, I think is more what they're going for, as opposed to the River City Girl style of like, you have a billion moves, go nuts, you know? Yeah.
The other thing is that I feel like I got really, really, really fucking far in Absalom within like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like maybe the map is lying. Like maybe like the left to right map is lying, but I got really fucking far in like 90 minutes. And I was like, oh,
it sounds
like maybe the last level is like crazy difficult.
So I don't know what happens. Like, we got to the Underking, didn't beat him in like 3 or 4 runs. But what I've heard from others is that like around the 8-hour mark, like the story and the events in the game start to open up and kind of become something much more than it starts out being. So there's some sort of like next level of what this game is that people are really enjoying. That happens a bit later.
People in chat are saying that the map is not representative.
Okay.
Because like when I was playing it, it looked like I got like 75%, 80% through the map.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when you get the frog dude, I'm like, this can't possibly be it.
But yeah, I think but some beat 'em ups, the goal is do combo. Some beat 'em ups, the goal is string together combo on different enemies and survive. This is almost like when I was describing the difference between Shinobi and Ragebound, right? Shinobi,
very similar, actually.
Yeah, Shinobi is you can do a bunch of stylish shit to one fucking dummy that is not going to attack you. It's waiting to be styled on. And then Ragebound is throwing a bunch of one-hit enemies at you, but there's so many of them, holy fuck, don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I felt like a stupid asshole playing those games back to back, because when I was playing Ninja Gaiden, I was like, man, I wish I could do more to these enemies. And then when I was playing Shinobi, I'm like, I wish these enemies would do more to me.
Yeah. I mean,
then I'm sitting there, I'm like, I guess I just want to play Devil May Cry. Is where my brain was at.
I liked Ragebound a lot, and I felt like you could do a lot, but you had to, the comboing and the string is how you move from enemy to enemy, you know? You kill one, you get a charge, you take out the next, you bounce off of that, and you string it all together in a sequence of like, the combo is how you're killing a bunch of one-hit things moving through the stage, and not how you're styling on one enemy, you know? And I mean, not everything needs to be that thing that we're talking about necessarily, so I'm like, I'm okay with that, considering what Ninja Gaiden was, and, you know, considering what even for someone that didn't really play the Itagaki ones, I know that too is a game where you're not styling on dudes coming at you, you're fucking killing as fast as possible to not get
the
overrun.
Hidegeki ones, like, you can stop, but like, no, it's kill them.
Styling is an absolute detriment to your survivability, you know. So yeah, I kind of think about those cases. In these games, the mobs and individual can't really do much to you, and when they have armor, you gotta switch to your armor breaking moves and go for it. But I guess almost like Arkham City combat.
It's really good.
You have a surrounding group of people. It's very sticky. You have a surrounding group of enemies, and then someone that comes up with a shield is going to need you to deal with that shield, and then you can't just turn your brain off for it necessarily. And then again, yeah, keep your parry timing tight. But this is one session of it, you know. But what you're describing is ultimately like I think a different goal from, say, River City Girls, or Double Dragon Neon is another great example of like you have a medium-sized move list that expands according to your picking your groove, and once you kind of get into the swing of things, you can do more than that first impression gives, but it's not giving you like, yeah, you're full on Dante.
I'm just kind of a whore for new moves.
I love them too.
Like, I just want to be always on. Like, when I was playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I'm thinking back that I was like, okay, this game's got some stuff. Okay. And then I went into the upgrade, and the very first thing you unlock is if you jump and hit X, you can do a launcher. I'm like, oh, there's moves in here? There's new moves to use? Oh, wait, this game's good. Like, I guess I'm just a dumb slut for new moves.
You move slut.
Yeah, a little bit.
You fucking combo whore.
Oh no.
I don't mind it. I enjoy what we got going on there. Oftentimes it's like, when it depends on what the goal of the game is. Where do you want the game to feel good? You know? And so far,
I remember playing Devil May Cry 4, and you remember when you started playing as Nero, and there's a move that's back forward.
Yeah.
Swing your sword. I'm like, oh, there's like a bunch of new things you can do with this. Yeah.
Yep. I'm as somebody who is you've heard me pop off about that in many examples. It's the thing that made me love Senua's Sacrifice right away. Was like, oh, you got access to your move list, right? Or even going back to Symphony of the Night, you know, frame 1, Dark Metamorphosis. If you know the input, cool. But yeah, if it's not the design, if it's not the goal, you can still make a fun game that focuses on, you know, pushing through the crowd, handling the crowd, and playing defensively while getting overwhelmed. Is a different style of game, which is also, again, what Batman is doing. In any case, though,
you know the best part about Arkham City Combat is, like, genuinely, is that when they go, hey, Batman, you want to fight a dude? They put like twice as many enemies as they did in Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah, the rooms are overrun. It's crazy.
You're stronger, so you beat them down at about the same speed. But like I remember having this feeling about like 2/3 through Arkham Asylum where I was like, I was like gelling with the combat, and like, oh, you're gonna fight some goons, Batman. And like, oh, I wish that encounter was like 5 times as long. I loved the fucking feeling of the way it played.
The fact that the Ra's al Ghul fight like cuts away all of those sand like dudes you're fighting before they let you beat them all is actually a bummer. I wish I could fight the 30-40 dudes. Guys. Yeah. The thing is though,
I'm Batman.
But but that's a game where the punch lasers have never been more sticky.
Oh, it's very sticky.
You are sliding into place for a counter half a mile away.
You go really far. You go really fucking far.
And I was saying this is like, okay, I am taking the game on its own terms. My preference is a game that is actually not that sticky and lets me do everything manually. That is my baseline preference. But I understand what it's asking. and then it's going to raise the challenge according to, okay, because your combat is so sticky, you don't ever have to really care about how far or how close an enemy is. All you're really thinking about is who's coming next, right? If who's swinging next at you is the priority list. The distance is, I mean, if there's like someone with a gun further away, like that's where it works in. But within a solid fucking 20-foot circle, you just have to go like, oh, here comes a knife guy. Okay, you know, here comes a dude with a stun baton, and like you're listing your priority order that way. Here, and then that's what you're kind of getting out of these like swarm you beat 'em ups is, here comes the dude who's not going to care about who doesn't have hit stop, you know.
Yeah.
Here comes the flyer who's you're gonna have to jump to eventually knock them down, or someone who's on a mount, and then you can jump on top of the mount and take it from them because otherwise they're gonna rush through you and so on. And it's pretty hype when, you know, you're fighting a boss who's like damage sponging at you, and they're gonna take 3 massive swings, and you're on your last pixel. But the way to survive it, because you're not getting out of this, is to fucking parry, perfect to parry, and then get in there. You know, like that's pretty hype. So that's kind of where Absalom is trying to put all the juice, and then, you know, use that to like side evade, get a hit in, go pick your partner back up, and reset the encounter, you know. Yeah, very cool so far. I want to come back to it. I was drawn in by the first taste, and I'm going to be playing some more of that in the near future.
I'm going to look up what the map looks like. I want to see how much
how big the lie is.
Oh, that map is a big fucking lie.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
There's come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm curious because I'd said it a couple times, but does what we're describing or what you mentioned, what you were just talking about, that bothers you, do you feel that with Hades at all?
No. And I saw somebody mentioning in the chat with like a wildly disingenuous argument about like, does it bother Pat as to like what the Souls games are incredibly basic in their combat, which is like, Hades isn't like Hades, for example, is not specifically about comboing things, because you can't.
It's not.
You can't.
It's survive
Hades
the
is
wave.
about the 400 different permutations of your standard sword swing, right? And like with Souls, like Souls combat does have like hundreds of different move lists. So if I loaded it into a beat 'em up and it had as many different move lists for basic attacking as like a Souls game or Elden Ring had for weapons, I'd be like, wow, that's absolutely fucking astonishing. I can't believe it. But no, I don't feel like that. For me, for the beat 'em up purposes, it's because it's a side scrolling, so your overall kit is like relatively limited because the plane is limited, right? When I think of a beat 'em up move list that I really, really like, I think of River City Girls and I think of Dragon's Crown. And part of the reason I think of Dragon's Crown is because it has 6 characters that are all completely fucking different. And they all have their own move list on top of it.
I'm gonna throw the terminology here, which is the Hades is asking you to survive the wave, not do combo. River City Girls is asking you to do combo. Absalom is asking you to survive the wave, and you can do some comboing inside the wave. I think that's the deal, you know. And then again, Shinobi, do combo, Ragebound, survive the wave.
I wish Shinobi and Ragebound kissed.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I agree.
And then I realized that is like modern 3D Ninja Gaiden. Like that's literally what that is.
Again, are you doing combo in Ninja Gaiden?
Yes, no, you are. But the combos are built to kill people, not to do stylish things.
I guess bosses, you must be wailing on them, right? Because I feel like every time I see Ninja Gaiden footage, I just see like motherfuckers getting beheaded, you know, with like Isen strikes.
You're doing flying swallow, you're doing Azuno drops, you're doing combos for
and then like
denial purposes.
For every head that goes flying, like 3 more dudes are coming through the window. you know, and I'm just like, like that's what it seems to be to me. So
It's a different type of combo system because enemies are just so more aggressive in the Ninja Gaiden games that no one's going to give you like a free pass to do like, I'm gonna combo him in the air, then I'm gonna do roulette, and then I'm gonna do the dash, and it's like, no, you fucking kill him because his 3 boys are jumping at you right now immediately and shooting rockets at you.
I think the original appeal of like old beat 'em ups was survive the wave, and then like the comboing stuff came in like later.
Well,
you know,
I mean, a huge appeal of the old beat 'em ups was like, look how big that guy is on the screen.
Yeah, it looked fucking haggard. You could see the muscles and haggard.
Yeah, like
for sure. And then it's like, wait, when you jump and then pile drive that dude into the ground, anyone underneath it also takes damage. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so that was it. Absalom's great.